Today's Hollywood is a writer's dream come true. About any story a writer can dream up in 2023 can be adapted for a worldwide audience, assuming the film has a healthy budget, of course. Movie makers have to spend a lot of money to realize their wildest ambitions, but some studios are willing to shell up the cash. As a result, it will be up to the viewers to decide if the price was justified. Check out 10 of the most expensive movies ever made and decide for yourself if you think the money was well spent. Number 10. Avatar. $237 million. The story of Avatar, which is set in the distant future, centers on Jake Sully, a paraplegic former Marine officer who is portrayed by Sam Worthington. He steps in for his twin and is sent on a business mission to Pandora, an alien world where the highly intelligent Na'vi lives. During his stay, he develops feelings for a Na'vi woman, Zoe Saldana, and wrestles with the decision of whether to follow orders or defend his new home. Before Jungle Book, The Lion King, or any other live-action remakes were produced, James Cameron's Avatar, which included groundbreaking 3D visual effects, established the precedent for CGI-based motion pictures. When it was first released, it was the most costly film ever filmed. But soon after, huge blockbuster franchises like the Marvel Cinematic Universe took its position. The movie had a budget of about $237 million and made about $2.8 billion in revenue. Number 9. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, $250 million. Both the wizard and muggle worlds are in ruins as Harry, Daniel Radcliffe, begins his 6th year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry because of the uncontrolled Death Eaters. As Voldemort's army gains strength, it starts to threaten people and attempt to seize control of the Ministry of Magic. Even Hogwarts is no longer the safe refuge it once was because of the widespread fear and the impending conflict. The 6th installment of the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, had the highest production costs, costing an estimated $250 million. There are numerous reasons why such high funds can be necessary. One was that because of their extensive involvement with the franchise and its enormous popularity, the principal cast's contracts were available for negotiation. The majority of the movie's scenes also necessitated extensive usage of the CGI and post-production, which is an expensive endeavor. The movie made $934 million at the box office. Number 8. Beauty and the Beast, $255 million. In this timeless Disney tale, the brave clockmaker father of the title character Belle, Emma Watson, is kidnapped by a haughty prince, Dan Stevens, who has been doomed to live as a hideous beast until he learns to love. As the beast prisoner, Belle takes the place of her father. Belle starts to see the sensitive side of the charmed prince as she spends time with him and works to save him. It is not surprising that the Emma Watson starring movie cost $255 million to produce, given Disney's recent push into turning all of its iconic animated flicks into live-action features with all-star casts. Almost $1.3 billion was made by Beauty and the Beast in theaters around the world. The upfront fee Watson demanded for her work on the movie, $300 million, increased the production costs even further. She is thought to have made an additional $15 million as a result of its strong box office performance. Number 7. Tangled, $260 million. One of the most expensive animated movies ever produced is this one. The long and golden-haired Princess Rapunzel, who was voiced by Mandy Moore, is the subject of a 2010 film that is a contemporary retelling of the story. Unaware of her true identity, the princess is imprisoned in a tower by Mother Gothel, a wicked old woman, voiced by Donna Murphy, who poses as her mother in order to use the princess's miraculous hair to stay young forever. Using a blend of computer-generated graphics, photo non-realistic renderings, and hand sketches throughout the course of 6 years of creation greatly increased the expenditure. Almost $592 million was made by the critically praised movie internationally. Number 6. John Carter, $264 million. After languishing in development hell for years, John Carter was finally released in March 2012. Disney was eager to produce another live-action epic that could compete with the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and for a brief period of time, it appeared as though Taylor Kitsch would be the biggest movie star of his generation. Sadly, the $264 million budget balloon for John Carter failed to entice audiences, leading to the presumptive franchise's premature conclusion. Number 5. The Rise of Skywalker, $275 million. The terrible death of Carrie Fisher delayed the start of the production of the third and final film in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and a last-minute replacement replaced Colin Trevorrow with J.J. Abrams. Its final budget came to $275 million. Regrettably, The Rising of Skywalker was a terrible mistake that ruined The Last Jedi's originality and The Force Awakens' potential. Although the movie still managed to gross over $1 billion at the box office, it is notable for being the final Star Wars movie to be released theatrically. Number 4. Justice League, $300 million. The stories behind the $300 million Justice League film are arguably more interesting than either of the films, and production concerns frequently dominate the most expensive movies ever made. Joss Whedon essentially reshot the movie after Zack Snyder departed the set in an effort to salvage Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice after it received negative reviews. Justice League didn't achieve the same level of commercial and critical success as the Avengers, albeit it appears that the previous DCEU films had burned fans too deeply. The digitally erased mustache on Henry Cavill couldn't have been more believable for $300 million. Number 3. Avatar: The Way of the Water, $350 million. It's reasonable to say that the second Avatar movie will continue to rule the charts for the upcoming month as fans return to the land of Pandora, even though the second Avatar movie's box office tale is still developing. The magnificent underwater photography and epic action sequences in Avatar: The Way of Water somehow managed to surpass the aesthetic accomplishments of its predecessor, demonstrating the value of the film's high budget. Number 2. Avengers Endgame, $356 million. A large number of heroes returned for the $356 million conclusion to the Infinity Saga in this 3-hour epic that also included time travel, cameos, and one of the largest combat sequences in movie history. Beyond receiving praise from critics, Avengers Endgame evoked strong emotions in spectators who had known these heroes for more than a decade. Avatar eventually surpassed Endgame as the highest-grossing movie of all time after it was re-released. Number 1. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, $378 million. Following the phenomenal success of the first 3 films, Disney decided to make a 4th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, a $378 million one, including more of Johnny Depp's well-known Captain Jack Sparrow character. While the majority of people thought Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides was a bloated mess that stretched the plot, it wasn't a financial failure and became the 8th installment in the franchise to gross over $1 billion at the box office. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We release new content every week, so stay tuned.